Hello there. This is News Channel Nebraska. Thank you so much for joining us. My name's Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. We begin in Omaha, where authorities say a man has suffered critical injuries after a downtown shooting. It happened near 16th and Farnham Tuesday evening. Police say a man was shot and transported to Nebraska Medicine Hospital in critical condition. Authorities have said they believe it's an isolated incident, possibly the result of a fight. No word yet on any arrests. Police asking anyone who might have any info to contact Omaha Crime Stoppers. A site that's seen a lot of redevelopment lately in western Nebraska suffering damage after a car crash Wednesday morning. Authorities were called to the former North Platte Mall Wednesday after a car crashed into the District 177 sign. That sign had just been erected 2 years ago as part of the city's redevelopment of the old mall into a new mixed-use development. No word on any injuries associated with the crash or what caused the wreck to happen. A new report from the Office of Inspector General for Child Welfare shedding light on numbers regarding child deaths and serious injuries within the system. The 81-page report was published this week. Inspector General Jennifer Carter says the increasing numbers are concerning, but says it's unclear if this is a trend, representative of a systemic issue, or a one-time spike. There were 21 child deaths reported to the OIG in fiscal year 2024, up from 11 the year prior. Authorities say 3 of the deaths were caused by abuse or neglect, 3 other deaths being investigated because the child was either in the child welfare system or in a DHHS facility. 8 children died from medical issues or accidents, and 7 of the deaths involved co-sleeping or unsafe sleep practices.
We'd never had this number of unsafe sleep deaths reported to us.
Another issue, the Youth Rehabilitation and Treatment Center in Kearney, which saw a large increase in assaults on staff and youth. Now, Carter says the majority of the serious assaults were done by the same 5 youth. The report shows there was also a significant increase in self-harm incidents at the YRTC in Hastings, almost 4 times higher than the year before. In national news, House Speaker Mike Johnson moving ahead with a vote Wednesday on a 6-month GOP government funding plan. It's expected to fail. Government funding runs out at the end of the month, so House leadership will have to come up with a plan B if the bill doesn't pass. A major issue with the bill, it includes a controversial measure that targets non-citizen voting. Johnson has been under pressure from conservatives and Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump to take action on election security. The GOP funding proposal, viewed as a non-starter for Senate Democrats if it were to make it to that chamber. A clean funding extension that doesn't include the voting measure is widely viewed on Capitol Hill as the only viable way to avert a shutdown. Meanwhile, Republicans in the Senate squashed a bill that guaranteed Americans access to in vitro fertilization. The final tally, 51-44. GOP Senators Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins voted alongside their Democratic colleagues. The same bill was also blocked by Republicans back in June. Now, many Republicans have said they support IVF, but they also say this Democratic-led legislation is overreaching. Shortly before the failed vote yesterday, Senate Democrats blocked a Republican-backed IVF bill. They say it didn't meaningfully protect IVF. A new ruling from the FTC looks to cut down on fake reviews for businesses. One business owner in Nebraska says it's a growing problem, and he hopes it will lead to fewer illegitimate reviews. Luke Stera has more.
Fake reviews, online or on social media, can be a headache for business owners.
I would say it's a growing problem. It's happening more and more, unfortunately.
Troy Wyrick, president and CEO of Renegade Stores, says the reviews can divert customers to other sites.
A lot of it seems like it's overseas stuff that where they're trying to manipulate our customers or use our traffic to whatever they want to shape it in.
The Federal Trade Commission is looking to crack down on these illegitimate reviews. In August, they issued a new rule banning reviews from people who don't exist or are AI generated, including people who have no experience with the business. This comes after business owners across the country say their businesses were ruined by fake reviews. Web and e-commerce manager at Renegade Stores, Ashley Vester, says the business sees a few types of these reviews a week.
Sometimes we just have to kind of leave them out there if we can't remove them, but we do always comment on it to make sure people know, like, not to click on any links.
As far as consequences, a prior ruling from the Supreme Court hinders the FTC to seek monetary relief for consumers. Still, Wyrick says he is encouraged by the new rule.
And I think the new ruling will help. It can't hurt for sure. The problem is way worse now than it was early days.
The new rule goes into effect on October 21st. Reporting for News Channel Nebraska, this is Luke Stara.
Americans can now renew their passports online. The State Department launched a new service that allows Americans to apply online for a fee. It's open to adults renewing a regular 10-year passport that's expiring or has expired within the past 5 years. The agency estimates some 5 million Americans a year will be eligible for the service. It's available at travel.state.gov. If it goes well, the State Department says they could expand to include more Americans. Right now, the processing time for passport renewals about 6 to 8 weeks, which federal officials say is a historic low. Well, the summer-like weather, a perfect backdrop for one of Gordon, Nebraska's most beloved traditions. Thousands gathering this past weekend for the annual Willow Tree Festival. Casey Wanenberg takes us to the heart of the celebration that brought families and friends together once again, as it has for 4 decades.
All year long, signs are up promoting a special date, the Willow Tree Festival in Gordon. And this weekend, the family-friendly event marked its 40th anniversary.
You know, a lot of people come from out of town, and a lot of people, you see only once a year, and it's here.
Joni Elwood was at the very first festival.
My mom is an artist, and she had a booth here, so I helped her with the booth 40 years ago.
Decades later, the event has grown to attract thousands of attendees, a remarkable feat for a town with a population of less than 1,500.
What?
From puppet shows to arts and crafts and live music, 3 different stages offer something for everyone.
Lots of memories are made. We're in our 40th year, and there's been a lot of memories all those 40 years.
In addition to arts and crafts and live performances, one of the main things that draws people to the Willow Tree Festival is the food. And dare I say that this is some of the best French fries I've ever eaten.
From Philly steak sandwiches to barbecue to potatoes.
Along with those fair favorites.
It's ribbon fries with nacho cheese.
But organizers say the event is about more than just food and activities.
Got some new ideas.
Norma Burnham has been on the festival board for all 40 years.
Community. Community makes this special. It brings us all together.
A community event promoting the magic
2, 3
of memory making for 4 decades.
40 more years, I hope.
In Gordon, Casey Wanenberg, News Channel, Nebraska.
You think you're a good tipper, but what about everyone else in your state? A new report from Toast, that's a digital platform a lot of restaurants use, includes some new findings about tipping. They analyzed all their recent data, and Delaware is the state with the best tippers. Average tipping percentage there, 21.5%. West Virginia, Indiana, New Hampshire, Kentucky also making the list of states with the highest restaurant tips. The lowest, California. So what about Nebraska? Well, the Cornhusker State came in 18th, 19.7% on average. That's lower than Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, and Wyoming, but higher than Colorado and South Dakota. Toast says its average tipping percentage, just over 17%. And finally in sports, Nebraska off to a 3-0 start for the first time in 8 years. That'll be put to the test Friday, though, as they begin Big Ten competition. Jake Bartecki has more from Lincoln.
After sweeping their way through non-conference play, Nebraska now turns their attention to the Big Ten and turns their attention to a fellow top 25 team in 24th ranked Illinois. The Husker offense will take on an Illini defense with a nose for the football, as their 9 takeaways through the first 3 contests have them top 5 in the nation. Nebraska gets ready for more physicality in turning to the Big Ten, but freshman quarterback Dylan Raiola says there's really only one thing you can do to prepare for that.
Just watch the tape. I think that's, it's going to be physical 9 games that we play. It starts Friday. But, like going back to what I said, it's everyone's preparing the same way that we have for UTEP, Colorado, and UNI. Everything's been preparing us for this moment. And I know our guys will be there to answer the bell.
Through 3 games, Raiola is 70% through the air and will now face a stingy Illini defense, but it begins a 9-week stretch of physicality in conference play. Huskers offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield believes experience will be the best teacher.
I don't think really any words I could give them would have you prepared for what it's going to feel like to go, play a Big Ten game and then play a stretch of Big Ten games. So I think that's just a layer of development that we're going to have to go through with all those freshmen.
For the first time this season, sophomore running back Emmett Johnson found the end zone in Saturday's win. As Nebraska continues to rotate 4 backs in the offense, Johnson says it allows the running backs to each develop and learn from one another.
I learned a lot from watching those other guys when they're out there playing, and I'm sure they learn when I'm out there playing too as well, but I'm always open to learning different things and just watching, seeing things I can get better at, so when I go out there, it makes my job easier.
Illinois ranks 2nd in the nation in turnover margin. As Dylan Raiola leads the offense on Friday night, he broke down a few key factors for Nebraska to play a clean game on offense.
We got to make sure our guys are in the right spots and that my eyes are in the right spots. And it's just going to come down to who executes better this week and who's more physical. And it's pretty simple. And we're going to just attack.
Once again, the Illini 5th in the nation in takeaways. They've got 9 on the year, and that puts them 2nd in the Big Ten. Now, Nebraska last year had a lot of problems with giveaways, especially early in the season. Through those first 3 last year, 9 turnovers for the Big Red, but 22nd ranked Nebraska, just 2 through the first 3 in 2024. Huskers and Illini get it all started at 7 p.m. Central Time on Friday night at Memorial Stadium. Covering the Huskers, Jake Bartecki, NCN Sports Now.
And you can stay up to date with the very latest by following us online. Head to newschannelnebraska.com. Click on the News tab there. You can also follow us on X, like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. This is News Channel Nebraska.